Hello, everyone. This is Mark Anthony with AI Edge Podcast, the place where we bring you the best of the best doctors within what they do. As you all know, we are all about getting and having doctors on the show, and not just to have a conversation, but this is for you guys. Or how many of you out there have friends, family that are struggling? Say it's brain fog or stress, whatever that may be. Today we have Dr. O'Keefe, whom I can actually call a friend I've known for quite a few years. And we go back, and this is not her first podcast, and neither will this be her last. She has a voice that is reaching out to the masses in her area. If you're looking for any type of healing, and we're in the Florida area, I believe. So
That's in
beautiful
Florida.
Florida. Let me go
Mhm.
surfing.
Yes,
So we're in the
yes.
beautiful Florida area, which she's going to kind of tell you a little bit about where she's at, where you can find her. But I don't care what you're struggling with. It could be brain fog, it could be neuropathy, it can be whatever you are working with in your body. And doctors are telling you, just take another pill. Just take another pill. You're not
Mhm.
going to get better. Guys, check out Dr. Dana O'Keefe. I recommend her. I've seen her work, great testimonials on what she has done. So today we're going to be talking about something that I've never talked really about before. We're going to be talking about something called the sympathetic overdrive and why people can't heal because of stress. How many people are stressing or still stressing even over the COVID and that maybe have not healed from long COVID? So we have Dr. Dana O'Keefe. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us where you're located, your website, and
Okay.
start
Well,
there.
we are in Maitland, Florida, which is in the Orlando area, and our website is restoringhealth.center. And we have been around for quite a while. We're the Restoring Health Wellness Center. Been around for what, 13 years, I think, something
Hmm.
like that. So we've been around and we do quite a few things. We do have chiropractic, neurofeedback. Oh my gosh, that is miracles. We have regenerative therapies, things like PEMF and the K laser, and um, we have shockwave therapy now, which has been really,
Love Shockwave.
yeah, shockwave's great. We did, it was really interesting to me. We did an open house maybe about a month ago, and I got a little card from everybody, and said, gave me their information. But if I had a magic wand and could erase one health condition, what would it be? And when I went through all the cards, because I'm always interested to see how can we help people, I would say 90% of it was pain. And I realized so many people are in pain for a lot of different reasons. Like, about 4 years ago, I went flipping off a horse and fractured my back in 6 places. So I understand pain, right? That's a physical pain. Um, the body understands stress in different ways. Like when we think stress, right? We
Mhm.
think, oh, I'm stressed out. I'm driving on I-4. That's Orlando, right? So, somebody bothered me, I'm stressed out. But the part of the brain is the amygdala. I call him Biff because Biff is very, very primal, right? So the part of the brain that really reads stress only knows good and bad. Like there's really no areas of gray. What makes Biff go, okay, I'm going to pop out cortisol because the unit is stressed. Well, physical pain, flipping off a horse,
Mhm.
right? That's stress, right? In fact, funny story. When I fell off the horse, the paramedics all come, right? And they prick my finger and they go, "Huh, are you diabetic?" And I was like, "No, I just fell off a horse. I'm in a lot of pain. My cortisol is really high, and it's dragging glucose into my blood." And they looked at me and went, "Are you a doctor?" I went, "Actually, yes." But it was, they don't really think too much, but literally your glucose will go up when your cortisol is too high. So yes, pain is one of them. We all get the emotional one, but we also don't really think about physiological, right? So if you've got this hidden infection in your gut, well, your immune system knows that something's up, right? That's part of that gut brain connection. So that gut brain connection, you got this inflammation here, the vagus nerve is picking it up, you're going over here, now you have stress, now your cortisol's high. Then you get this, the brain just doesn't stop, right? How many women do you know, especially postmenopausal, They're trying to sleep at night. The brain won't turn off. The to-do list won't go away. We have a stress epidemic in this country, and that's part of the reason why people aren't getting better. That's part of the reason why people don't heal. Because if you look at the two main nervous systems in the body, right? You've got your fight or flight, that's your sympathetic. You've got your rest and digest, that's your parasympathetic. They're both there for reasons. Now, the fight or flight, it is there to save your life, right? You're running, it's primal, remember? You're running from the tiger. Mufasa is chasing you, right? That's not a time for you to sleep and eat and procreate and no, no, no. You are just running, right? Your nervous system is geared to keep you there. You're not sleeping, right? You're not having babies. You're not digesting food. You have to touch down over on the parasympathetic for that, right? And the brain can get stuck in what I call, it's just a term that I have, sympathetic overdrive, right? So you're stuck in this sympathetic overdrive, and it's physiological impossible for you to heal when you're stuck over here.
So what do you do? I mean, do I just go to the beach? Do I go have a little bit of weed? A little sarcasm, a drink.
Right, 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 right.
Does that make it worse?
Um,
Because a lot of people are
no,
coping like
yeah,
that these
yeah.
days.
Um, it depends on how you approach it, right? There are cannabinoid receptors, right? In our brain. If that's all you do and that's the only way you address it, then no. That's not healthy. Um, I feel like I just teach people how to be human again, right? So,
That's actually a gift.
mhm,
It sounds weird because we're in the computer age, so
right.
this newer generation doesn't
No,
know
no,
about
no, no.
that.
They get up in the morning and what do? Boom. Phone right in the face. First thing, that's it, right? I was talking to my sister the other day, and she's like, "Yeah." Like I said, "What did we?" She goes, "What did we do in like the '80s?" I said, "We got up. It was simple. Get up, go outside, get some sun with no sunglasses and sunblock for 10 minutes before 10 in the morning. Start to work with your circadian rhythm, right? So that you've got, you're up with the sun, down with the sun. That's how we're made,
You're right.
right? So we start there. Is I know it sounds boring. Breathing exercises throughout the day. That will shift you into parasympathetic. And when you go out in the sun in the morning, by the way, don't bring your phone. Don't bring your phone. It's not like I'm gonna sit there and scroll there, right? Turn your phone off after 9 o'clock. Done. Turn it over, turn it off, done. We've got to disconnect from the Borg at times, right? We need to, of course, eat healthy. We need to exercise regularly. Again, I'm just teaching people how to be human. And some people need extra help, and we'll put them into our neurofeedback program, which helps tremendously. And it helps retrain those brain waves because, just like your bicep, like if you lift a bunch of weights, you'll get a bigger bicep, right? Well, if you are training your brain that I am going to be in sympathetic overdrive.
Like a muscle.
Yeah, I am going to be go, 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 go. I mean, you at night, you're waking up, you're thinking about your to-do list. You know, you're literally training your brain and training the brain waves to be reacting that way. So neurofeedback helps you retrain it and balance it. And, we get tremendous results with neurofeedback doing that. Things like chiropractic. People don't think about chiropractic as balancing your nervous system, but that's what it was designed to do. It was never really about, when it first started, it was never really about back pain and neck pain. It was about
Hmm.
the nervous system. The first gentleman that ever got adjusted got his hearing back. And the second woman ever adjusted, it was a cardiovascular issue that resolved. So, how could that possibly happen? Well, if think about the nervous system, the brain starts it all. That's where it starts, right? Then you have your spinal cord comes down your neck, down your back, and it's all encased in this beautiful armor, if you will, right? Then you have nerves that come out in different areas, and they will that those nerve impulses are what makes the body work. Like, you literally have nerves that help your blood flow through the vessels because you got tiny little muscles in your vessels, right? And without a nerve impulse, that doesn't happen. So the nervous system drives it all, right? If you don't have a nerve impulse to your heart, it stops beating. It
Well, let's go back a little bit. You said something that kinda hit me.
Mhm,
So you said maybe I'm gonna say it incorrectly, but you said the first person that had ever done chiropractic on somebody, a doctor,
mhm.
they
Uh-huh.
were
Dr. Didi
healed
Palmer.
of wait, the first like the first
First adjustment ever.
do you know how what time that was? It in the 20s or something?
No, it was 18
No way, 18s.
18 18 I should know this, right?
And wait a minute, the
Mm,
guy basically couldn't hear.
right.
Is it because of blood flow? Because of adjustment? Was
There's
there
been
blood not getting to a certain spot? Because I'm
there
not a
was
doctor, but
right, now there's been a lot of theory about that because that was Dr. Didi Palmer, who was the
yes, he started
uh
it all.
he started it all, and, there's really no specific notes about that except for
Just
the
happened.
actual it happened, right?
And that blew up chiropractic from there.
Yes. Well, his son, BJ, was the one who really developed the chiropractic, side of things. But this guy was a janitor, and so there's been some theories, he was bent over and he did something and, you know, uh, don't really have the whole thing. We do have record of the chiropractic adjustment that restored the hearing, which was
Yeah, but that says a lot.
mhm.
That says how much we still don't understand and
Oh
know
yeah.
the spinal cranial, just like we have stem cells. We're still
Right.
learning about
Yeah,
that.
we're always gonna be learning, and that's the fun part, right? We're always learning, we're always growing. If you get an adjustment where C1 is, that first cervical vertebral, there's tons of research out there showing that it'll lower your blood pressure because the vagus nerve, which is cranial nerve 10, which is the main parasympathetic rest and digest, is it attaches somewhat right there.
Hmm,
And so, like my husband, he has a history of prostate cancer, and
mhm.
the radiation damaged his vagus nerve. And if his C1 gets, misaligned or in a really bad position, he doesn't have as much bandwidth or wiggle room there. He'll get like nauseous and throw up, and
Huh.
lucky for him, he's married to a chiropractor, so
Yeah, that helps a
so
little.
yeah,
You're all
yeah.
just throw them on the table. No
Yeah,
pun
so
intended.
we I travel with an activator for that reason, and he'll go, "Hon,"
Oh my god. Okay,
you know?
it's so funny you brought that up, and this God's so good. So, like, I was talking to a lady yesterday, and I go, "What would you like to talk on our podcast?" And she's like, "I want to talk about how the activator changed my life."
"Oh, really?
No, no
That's
joke. Like
awesome.
literally, and
That's
I've never heard
awesome."
anybody say that, right? Like literally, and it's weird because you and I were going off. We'll come
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and
no, we
guys,
squirrel
so yeah,
really
this is
well.
how we
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, 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 no,
Yeah,
sidebar. Yeah,
it's a trip because I'm thinking like activator, activator. I go, I've never heard of that term. And then when she showed me the activator, I was like, oh yeah, I know
you're
the
like, "Oh, yeah."
activator. I know the activator. So it was weird
Right.
because I went to like a big function where up in Oregon years ago where they had a whole bunch of people selling stuff. And I saw a chiropractor there and he had this thing called the activator
Mhm.
or called it the terminator. I don't know what they call it. But
Whatever, yeah,
anyways, whatever
yeah,
they said, just to get you in.
yeah.
And I tried it and I was in awe. I felt like I discovered water. So
Oh
I bought myself an activator. No joke.
my gosh, oh my
And
gosh,
yeah,
okay.
but here's the irritating part. I love that sucker so much because I'd be like laying down, I'm like,
Yeah,
then I'd
yeah,
be better, right?
yeah, yeah,
My boys love the activator, right?
yeah.
So what they were doing, they weren't doing it like how dad was doing it. They were just wasting my clicks, right?
Oh, don't waste a click.
They're wasting my clicks, right? They took the freaking thing apart, so I got to go buy a new one.
Oh my
But
god.
no, the activator's unbelievable. So just to jump back on the track, now I want to get my new activator.
Yeah,
It's back to what we're saying, and a thing I know that a lot of people are probably thinking is, why does chronic stress keep so many people from healing, even when they're eating better and
yeah.
trying different treatments, supplements, and stuff like that?
Simple. You're not in the part of the nervous system that you can heal, right? So if you're let's think of it as two camps, right? So you've got your stress response, part of the sympathetic, that's running, fear, all the things that you would be feeling if you were running from a lion, okay? Parasympathetic. This is where the body heals. The body can't heal over here because you're running
Mm,
from a lion. It's not
mhm,
possible. It's just the way the body's set up. So you have to be able to at least balance and touch down on the parasympathetic part. Like, I really like the aura rings
mm,
because they will show you your sleep. They'll show you something called HRV, which is heart rate variability, which lets you know how you're responding and reacting to stress. You want to have a higher heart rate variability. And
hmm,
what that is the space between the heartbeats. Like when we think, so we can literally measure how stress is affecting your health by looking at heart rate variability because here you've got, we think of the heartbeat as like bump 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 bump
mhm.
bump, like a metronome, but
Right, we do.
it's not really a metronome. When we actually measure it, it's just a little off here and a little off here and a little off here, and that space between the beat is heart rate variability. So you want to have more space between the beat. That's why breathing exercises actually help improve your heart rate variability
Hmm.
because when you exhale, you will have a slower heart rate. When you inhale, your heart rate speeds up. And most of us sit around like holding our breath while we're, like, on the computer, the board.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful, right? You're kinda holding your breath, and you don't even realize it. I did an exam I did a sports exam on one of my patients the other day, and young gal, really, really cute, and so I told her to take a breath, and she goes and I'm like, "Oh, wow, like, the shoulders are attached to your earlobes. Are we a little stressed?" And it's like, so many people can't even take a breath without that's a stress response. That's not. And I would probably think that her heart rate variability based on that is probably lower. And you can use your Aura rings and it will show you how stressed you are during the day. And stress you're never going to get away from it and you're not supposed to. It's just
Mhm,
really about balancing. There is good stress, like working out, pushing your body, right? That will help your heart rate variability ultimately, right? You just have to give yourself time to recover properly.
hmm.
I have patients who are like, oh my God, gym bunnies, they're working out, they're doing all kinds of crazy things. And I've had to tell some of them, you have to take it down a little bit because you have to let your body recover, right? You can't just run full guns, full gas 7 days a week and expect to be healthy. That's where you're gonna have injuries and your gut's gonna get wrecked up, I mean, how many athletes have leaky gut? Really big
Well,
percentage,
yeah, well, the
really big
world.
percentage. Yeah, true. That is true, right?
Yeah.
All we have
A lot of us don't know about leaky gut, like, we hear about it.
right.
I mean, it correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard this from a doctor, and he said that if your stool floats,
Mhm.
you have leaky gut. There's a
Oh, I'm
problem with your
sure.
gut. If it sinks, you're good. I never
No.
I don't know anything about that. Not saying that that's true, but
Okay, so this is the deal. So if because I ask
have you
patients
heard about
and they
that?
look at me like they're, "What?" Um, if your stool floats, it means that you're not absorbing your fats. Alright, so that's gonna be a fat malabsorption, which
Okay.
means, yeah, you probably do have some kinda inflammation in the gut, and
Okay.
we could automatically assume that you have leaky gut. If it sinks, it doesn't mean that you don't have leaky gut, because you could still be absorbing your fat okay, right? But
Mhm.
maybe you have an H. pylori infection, or maybe you have a food sensitivity, or maybe you have candida or dysbiosis, but
Okay.
you're absorbing your fat, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the only reason that the stool floats is usually because of, there's just too much fat in it that's not been digested.
Okay, I like the way you put that. One
Mm,
more. So another thing, what would you say? What are some of the most common physical symptoms that you see that people don't realize that they may actually be caused by sympathetic overdrive? Things like fatigue,
mm.
insomnia.
Chronic pain, right? Again, your body's not able to heal. So what are some of the things like, waking up and you're just because if you're not sleeping well, if you don't have really good heart rate variability, you're staying in a sympathetic, your body's trying to sleep, but maybe you're a bit tense while you're trying to sleep, right?
How do you do that?
How do you do what?
Yeah, I mean, how do you just put Hertz of music on? You know, like the people sometimes they'll listen to Hertz so
Oh,
they can sleep
how do you
better.
just get
Yeah, just
there's a lot of ways of doing it. Nidra yoga is kind of fun. Before bed, it's you just get it on YouTube. It's like 20 minutes and you lay there with your eyes closed thinking about relaxing your nose and your ear and you go down these different body parts and strangely enough it really does work. There's something called I think it's called a nexus unit. I've got that. I love it.
oh yeah,
And that's kind of like a neurofeedback. It just puts binaural beats that again, the brain waves kind of takes things down. Every time I use that before I go to sleep, and I can measure it because I have an aura ring, that next morning I'll look and I will have gotten into much more deep sleep when I use that, which the deep sleep is where your body repairs and restores. So sleep is a really important place to start. Um, I have patients all the time. They're like, "Yeah, I sleep 4 or 5 hours a night." It's not enough. It's
no,
just not enough. How was this body created? How was it made? It's beautiful. The Bible says we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and I agree wholeheartedly. But just like you have certain things that you have to do to take care of your car, there's certain things you have to do to take care of this beautiful body that we've been given. Sleep is one of
100%.
not eating a ton of processed foods. Sugar
I
is
agree. That's a
really,
hard one.
really, really inflammatory. I drove by Walgreens the other day, and I think I wanna write a blog about this. I drove by Walgreens, and I was so sad because there was this big sign out there, buy one 12-pack of Coca-Cola, get another 12-pack for free, and I thought, "Oh my god," I said, it's like when you drink one 12-ounce soda, like,
Mhm.
that has 36 teaspoons of sugar in it. Like,
When
sugar
you think of it like that, you know,
it's crazy, right? And there are people who just drink that with each meal, right? They don't drink water. They don't like water. Like, well, you're not 68% soda. Well, maybe they are, but,
maybe there, yeah.
but, so it's just, again, I feel like I just teach people how to be human, drink water. Water's beautiful. Your kidneys love it, right? We're,
Wow.
we're
Yeah.
meant to drink water. We're
You
meant
know,
to sleep.
it's so true. It's so interesting. Everything you're saying is like right on. So, like for myself, when I call it when I went through my thing, I had a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. And now what works for me is I'll work out at the gym with my son
Hmm.
and I sleep like a log
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're releasing
Hmm.
and then the
Yeah.
body's like,
Yeah.
it's time to rest. You did what you were
You
supposed to
did it.
do.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it's funny because our bodies like when you buy a brand new car, you're excited it's brand new, right?
Hmm.
After a year or two, it doesn't look and feel like when you got it. That's
Right.
how our bodies are. But
Right.
we can keep it maintained at
Right.
full capacity. Now,
Right.
the other thing you kind of mentioned that I'm trying to kind of bring it back into my brain, but um you were talking about brain fog, how a lot of
Hmm.
people get brain fog. They'll have the answer, they'll have the question, and then they'll just lose it.
Hmm.
Is that I've seen this get worse since COVID. And I know
Yeah.
that there's a
Yeah.
lot. I'd say I don't know the numbers, but I could say that it's pretty high up there. I mean,
Mhm.
I had COVID for about a month. I thought I was gonna die. And then when I
Mhm.
took some ivermectin,
Mhm.
within that day, I was back to normal. I
Yeah.
couldn't get ivermectin, at the time.
Mhm.
But my point is that I've noticed even for myself, I've had a little bit of brain fog where I'm like, I got it. I'm like, okay, where did it go? It went somewhere. I mean, I'm 49
Mm.
years old, but my
Right.
point is, we can keep this optimal. What are some of the things that you're seeing in your office with that you're helping people with that type of
Mm.
brain fog?
Yeah, we see a lot of that, especially well, yeah, I'd say a good percentage of my patients, and there's a lot of reasons for it. COVID certainly being one of them, and that from the inflammation, um, hormones. You get a postmenopausal female without enough estrogen, and they are going to be in brain fog, right?
Mhm.
So, and as a functional medicine doc, I'm always looking for the reason behind it. So the first thing I usually address is the gut and toxins because those things, toxins, heavy metals, really, really, really affect the brain. Um, and create this like unbelievable anxiety that just does not give.
Mhm.
I've got several patients now that have a lot of mercury from silver fillings, and they are the most anxious people, and as we get rid of what's causing it, then that helps. So there's a lot of reasons. The gut brain connection, of course. If you have I say gut on fire, brain on fire, so that's gonna cause that and I call it the pantry stare, right? The pantry stare, is where you walk into the pantry or you look at your refrigerator and you go, "Why was I here?"
Mhm.
Right? Um, we were never meant to be that way. We were meant to be sharp until the day we pass on, right? But if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, it's going to create that situation. So the question is, where is the inflammation coming from each individual patient? You might have, hormones, low estrogen on a postmenopausal female. You might have unbelievable, like on a teenager who's just living on Snicker bars
And Coke.
and Coke, right? You're gonna have this high there's a lot of reasons for it, right? There's a lot of reasons. It's like fatigue. How many reasons are there for fatigue? So the question is, what is the reason this patient has fatigue versus this patient, right? Is this one have hidden infection? Is this one have adrenals, that have just kind of crashed because they've been under so much stress for so long, right? Because your body can only handle so much stress. You are meant to recover from it. But a lot of times as humans, we take things and we push them down,
We internalize.
right. And
Right.
there's a fun book. I think it's called Why Zebras Don't Die from Stress, something like that.
Heard
And the
about that one.
yeah, and the premise behind it is like if you watch in the wild what happens. Like if a zebra is at a water place and is just drinking water and here comes the lion, right? It's running for its life. It's in fight or flight, right? It's
Mhm.
in sympathetic overdrive, right? And let's say the lion doesn't get him, he gets away. Well, if you watch that zebra, he'll start just shaking. His whole body will shake and shake and shake and shake and shake and shake and shake until he literally shakes the stress out. And then he'll turn around and he'll go trot back to the little water hole and he'll just start drinking and have no PTSD, no issues, right? But now, if that was a human, we would take it and we'd push it down, and the lion is terrible. All lions are terrible. In fact, the world shouldn't have lions.
You're right.
And it would be so afraid that it would never go back to that water hole,
You're
right?
right.
And it
Maybe
would
even write a
stay
blog.
in that. Yeah, maybe. And it would stay in that sympathetic, So that's where, our internal dialogue with ourselves and our emotions and things along that line can also affect and keep us in that. So we're not just a one part being, right? We're three parts to this beautiful creation, right? We have our body, right? We have our mind and we have our soul or our spirit,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we have to attend to all of it to be completely healthy. Because, like, if you only, let's go back to the car, right? If you put gas in it, but you never put air in your tires, ever, 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 because you don't believe the tires are really as important as putting gas in the trunk, eventually you're not moving about the cabin so well, right? Well, it's
Mhm.
the same thing here. We have to do healthy things for our mind, like meditate and yoga and prayer, journal. Some people do great with it. I do. Some people don't. So you have to find what you resonate
'Cause everyone's different.
with.
Like for
Yeah.
me, I like to be up at 5 in the morning, have I call it coffee with Jesus,
Yeah.
just not think about, just kind of relax, maybe open the Bible, read some Proverbs, just marinate on what's good. And I
Yeah.
noticed that for me, it helps me set my whole entire day. And when I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do that, I feel a little like off, like an alignment on my car. And
Yeah.
water is another thing, I mean,
Yeah.
people just think, okay, well, I'm just going to drink some water. No, I mean, there's different types of water,
Yes.
that helps. I don't know because I'm not a doctor, but I would think that, by not having a lot of water and putting a lot of sugars in you will create stress on the body, which will also create stress on your mind,
Yep.
and how you handle things like you were saying, fight or flight,
Right.
turn off or quick, you know, um,
Right.
one of the things I do, you're gonna probably, I bet you've never heard of this. So I love Crystal Geyser water because it has the
Okay.
original chemicals, not chemicals, but
Minerals.
minerals inside it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I love that. So I love Crystal
Yeah.
Geyser. I know it's bad about they have them
Mhm.
in the bottles, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can't win them all. So it's all I basically drink. And
Okay.
so I try to do at least 7 bottles a day.
Okay.
Not try, I do. I do about between six
Right.
and seven. And so every time when I'm about to use the restroom,
Uh-huh.
I'm using the restroom, I'm drinking a water. So by the time I'm done flushed out, I've already
Right.
finished
You're
my bottle.
already hydrated. Yes.
I told that to my mother and she was like, "That's the most weirdest thing I've ever heard." I go, "Yeah." I go, "I know it's weird, but I go, I was thinking about
Well,
it." I go,
I
"I was
like it.
thinking about it, but it makes sense to my brain. Wait, if I've
Yeah.
replenished out, I've already replenished in."
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I like it. Yeah. Well,
my
another
boys
thing
are like, "What the heck are you doing, Dad?"
no,
I go,
well, another thing is, like, when you get up, after you wake up in the morning,
"Mhm,
you've just gone 8 hours without any fluids, right? So most people will wake up a little dehydrated. First thing you should do,
water."
16 ounces down the hatch.
It turns your system on.
Yeah,
It wakes
yeah,
it up.
and then I'll put some minerals in mine, as well. So this way I'll get a little boost of minerals as well as the water, and that's the first thing that goes in. It's not coffee. First thing that goes in, water, get
Well,
yourself hydrated.
I love it. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, have you ever heard that one though?
No, that's new, but he's got the little
Eh,
technique,
eh, I'm
you
gonna
know?
coin that one.
Yeah, I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. You call it the mark.
Yeah, I love it. The mark. Literally
We'll
the
call it
mark.
the mark.
Yeah, you don't wanna miss the mark.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay, so what would you say for yourself that you would say to maybe say someone right now saying, "Well, man, I'm so stressed. I'm going through a divorce, or my buddy died, or whatever it may be." What would you say? Maybe that's something that you can do to maybe even give like a free tip, that something that maybe what you would do
Okay, so I
besides calling you right away and setting up
right,
an
right,
appointment.
and right, right. No, I usually go the first thing you wanna do is start working on heart rate variability and the vagus nerve, right? Vagus nerve is gonna be the most important. So what can you do that will stimulate the vagus nerve,
Hmm.
right? Which will improve your heart rate variability. And that will give
Okay.
you resilience to address stress without, having that, oh my gosh, moment, right? So, um, get out in the sun first thing in the morning. We talked about that. Sit there, do breathing exercises for 10 minutes, right? Get a twofer. Breathe in, out, in 5 seconds, out 5 seconds, and just listen to the birds, right? Start your day that way. You can, if I don't know if you can see or not, but right up around your diaphragm, you can do a tummy rub. You can just
Hmm.
rub downwards, and that will stimulate the vagus nerve.
Oh wow,
Singing loudly. Get in your car, put your favorite song on, and sing. That will stimulate the
dude,
vagus.
that's huge. Actually,
It's enormous. In fact,
people don't realize it.
there is this really cool study, and I've been kind of playing with this. You're gonna dig this.
Mhm.
What was her name? Langer, something along that line. She is a Harvard professor. She did this big study years ago, and she took 80-year-olds, and she goes, and they were decrepit, right? They were not healthy 80-year-olds. And she put them all in this home, and they retrofitted the home that it kind of brought them back to like the 60s, right? I mean, literally had Kennedy, on the television. The music was the same. The plates and the dishes were all the same. They ate the type of food. And all these 80-year-olds are in this room, and they started having these conversations like they would have had 20, 30, 40, whatever years ago it was. And they found after about a week that all of them started moving better, walking around better. They tested them, their eyesight's improved, their hearing improved. This is no medication. This is being present and enjoying your environment, right? So I don't know, do you remember Amy Grant? Like,
Of course I do.
back in the day, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I was such when I was young, I was such an Amy Grant groupie. A friend of mine and I, we would travel anywhere in Florida to, like, catch a concert. And so, I went and I downloaded, like, a whole fistful of her albums, and I just crank it in my car, and I've been bopping around, whistling and singing, and I'm like, "What did I do?" I just brought myself into a position where I am present. Right? So stay present in life. You know, I love my iPhone, but I think they're very detrimental to our health. You know, the way that we've become so
No,
attached.
it is.
Literally, like
You
I
can't go anywhere without them.
no. I mean, people don't go to the bathroom without them. Yeah. Like it's everywhere. Like I walk around the house with it. Like why?
Yeah. It's like a
So
weapon.
so I've started. So that's another thing you can do. Give yourself space to be human, right? Which means turn it off at 9 o'clock and actually talk to your husband or your wife or your kids. Oh my gosh, let's get really antiquated. Read a book with paper, right? Like do something as you go to sleep before you go to sleep at night to take everything down. Bring the lights down, right? So you don't have bright light. All of this will stimulate your vagus nerve. You know, getting the blue light, the computers out of your eyes, computers, phones, iPads, TVs an hour or 2 before bed. That will help get in your parasympathetic. It will stimulate the vagus nerve. So these
Wow.
are all things that you can do that will just help you, right?
I love it. It's
Back
funny
to
you say
normal.
that. I always tell people I call it recession music. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I love like 70s, like the Commodores, the Gap
Uh-huh.
Band.
Uh-huh.
Um, and whenever I play that type of funk music,
Uh-huh.
it gets me so happy. Like I can't even
Yeah.
explain it. I don't know what it is. I
So
feel like
play
back
it.
in the 70s,
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
this frequency
Yeah.
that they hit that get people happy and just
Yeah.
wanna move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be in the store, right? And all of a sudden, they'll be playing, like, disco music, and all of
Uh-huh.
a sudden, man, I'm like, get down on it. I'm gonna get down." I'm like, "I don't even care. Hey, I don't even
Right?
care if I look like a fucking
Right?
chicken." I'm like, "I'm just gonna move it."
Right.
Um,
There it
I
is.
can't
That's it.
you
That's it.
know? And you know what's funny is when people see that, they look at you like, "Okay, you're weird," and they start to smile because then I go, "Don't fight it. You know you wanna move it."
Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come with us. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
I think during that time, there was a whole lot of babies made, but
Yeah.
but there was a lot people that were just happier, more kinda carefree,
Yeah.
and you've seen that even in the '80s, it was a lot more, and then
Oh, yeah.
the die down was, I would say, probably the really the strength of the phone and the computer,
Mhm.
because people today, we have people that are more naturally depressed because of what's going on right now in society. Think about it.
Sure.
Your
Sure.
news is now your computer. Your news is now fake news,
Yeah.
a lot of it. Oh, we'll see something on our phone. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And people will look at something on Facebook or whatever, and they think it's real. It's not real. I mean, I read a whole, right after Mondami was elected in, New York, this whole big thing comes out on Facebook that he
Mhm.
would oh, and I might get it wrong, but I think it was something like he wouldn't agree to uphold certain things in the Constitution
I
because he
remember that.
remember that? It never happened. He hadn't even
I
been
never did.
sworn in yet,
I know.
right?
I know.
So, like, you can't do not get news from social media because it is just one big yeah.
Well, see, I feel like what's happened though is that it's desensitized the world, and so what happens is they're able to control you through your little phone. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's interesting how everything's a box. We go to our box computer, or box phone, or box beds. And
Oh,
then when we
that's
die, we go into a box. It's like,
ah,
okay, is there very interesting. We're looking, everything's a box shaped. I mean, I'm not trying to be one of those conspiracy theorists, but when I think about it, the door is a box. I mean, my
mhm.
I mean, everything's a box.
So maybe to open up our mind a little more, we need to
Uh-huh.
get outside and go
Uh-huh.
hiking. Out
Do
into
opposite.
get outside, go out go swimming, go biking, go, because like, I work out in the gym, everybody who wants to be healthy will have some weight training, this, that, and the other thing. But the best thing I can ever do is go hiking. Just get
Right.
me in the mountains and
See,
get
that's your thing. Mine's the ocean. So, like,
okay.
when
Yeah.
I just my feet touch the sand,
Uh-huh.
and then I struggle with it because the beaches here in California are nice, but man, the water's cold. But I'll jump
Yeah.
in the water and my whole body just feels like, "Oh my god, that feels so good."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then the sun, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
going back to life.
Exactly. Go experience life. Don't watch it
Yeah.
on a screen.
And you know what? And
Right.
you know what? And while you're doing that, a lot of people on the show probably have never heard this, but go listen to some Peter Frampton. Throw in some Cat Stevens. See
Yeah.
how it was done.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
show me the
Totally.
way.
Totally. Totally.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Right. And it's gonna be someone's gonna have something they just love and just go do it. Go have
And you're
fun.
you're in a great business for what you do. And what I mean by that is, of course, you're helping people,
Mm.
but it's kind of like a double-edged sword. The more technology, the more AI comes in, it's going to stuff people to the point where
Mhm.
people are going to want what we're doing here.
Yeah.
They're going to yearn for it.
Yeah.
See, you're teaching people
Yeah.
how to go back to the beginning, and
Yeah.
that's perfect because people forgot that.
Yeah. That you can get a lot of answers about different things, and I had a new patient the other day, and she was like, I mean, I did everything I could with AI and research and this and I'm looking at her now my intake form for my functional medicine patients is like 38 pages, right? So I get a lot of information. And I'm just looking at them going, "Oh yeah, no, we could just this, and this is probably what you have going on." Right? The importance of having a human brain behind something, right? She could figure out how to get herself off of gluten. She could figure out, a whole lot of different things, but there's a disconnect with certain things, and you do. I mean, I do telehealth. I see patients in person as well. I prefer in person. It's there's an energy there. There is just I would much rather look at somebody eyeball to eyeball, even though I'm kinda looking at your eyeballs, but it's not quite, you know? I prefer, I mean, we still need to maintain our humanity, is because that's what we are. We're human beings, not
I
human doings,
agree.
right?
And you said something, you were talking about AI and everything. See, AI is very textbook.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah.
difference between, so I've been with somebody like they're just textbook, they're smart, textbook smart.
Right.
But then there's a thing called common sense.
Mhm.
And then feeling and understanding and being
Mhm.
sympathetic. See, a machine doesn't do that.
Intuition.
It could pretend. Yeah.
Mhm, intuition.
Intuition, 100%. And
Sometimes
that's something higher than AI. It's a God-given
right,
talent of him
right.
living inside us.
I mean, there are times where it's just I just know.
Bingo.
That's it. I
100%.
just know. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is what's going on."
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just so there you go.
this was
Don't
good, Dr. O'Keefe. So you and I can go on and on and on.
oh, we could
I mean next time we'll just throw a bottle of wine. All right.
there we go.
Yeah, we'll go from you know, stress to Jesus turning into wine, to
Ah,
water into
Course
wine.
mirror.
Yeah, exactly. But thank
Yeah,
you so much,
my
and
pleasure.
it's always a blessing to have you on the show. It's been a little while, but it was cool. We just picked up like just
Yeah,
two friends that just haven't seen each other in 20 years. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, that was
But
great.
thank you so much. And everyone out there in internet land, make sure that you share because remember, one video can change one person's life. And you can go to restoringhealth.center. The phone number is on the screen. She also does telehealth. What does telehealth mean? It means you can call in, you guys can meet up on maybe Zoom. And you know what, guys, there's sometimes you might think, well, she's all the way in Florida. But isn't it interesting how sometimes you can connect with somebody just by hearing their voice and their personality? That
Mhm.
means you want to connect with that person. It doesn't matter whether they're in Florida or Africa or New Ouija or whatever, or even
Right,
California. So
right.
connect with the right people. And even if you connect with Dr. O'Keefe, the cool thing is she can not only help you with what she can, but she can also say, "Hey, I recommend this area or this place." Guys, it's time to get out of the box and get your health where it's supposed to be, because if you don't have your health, you don't have your wealth, you have nothing. So get this straight, you get everything else aligned, you're rocking and rolling. But again, this is Dr. Dana O'Keefe. And before we leave, if you can give maybe just one word of encouragement to our viewers, and we'll just land the plane from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, so many folks have this mentality of aging, right? I'm born, I go through life, I pick up a couple diseases, I take some pills, and I check out. What happens if you can be born, live your life, thrive, run as fast as you can, hit the wall and slide down? But let's live life thriving. Let's live life excited about it, because so many people, young people, are walking around in this fog and they're not enjoying their life. And I think it's the most beautiful gift we've been given, right? We have X amount of time on this planet. Let's let's make it count and let's enjoy it. And don't put off enjoying your life, because you're going to go 10 years from now going, "Oh my god, I've just wasted 10 years." Right? Like, let's do what we need to do to be human, to be healthy, to thrive and be vibrant and enjoy every single day we have. I get up every morning and go, "This is the day God's made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it." And we need to just enjoy our lives. And we can't if we don't feel good. So let's fix it, because we can, right?
I love it. Thank you
There you
so
go.
much. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And everyone, you have a great day and God bless you all. And remember, share.